Girl, Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, is going through it right now, and the recent courtroom revelations aren't making things any easier. After Cassie got exposed and sued by one of the freak-off escorts, details came out about Cassie's past relationships, some of which he may not have known the full extent of. Reports are saying she was involved with several men before their marriage, and while that alone isn't shocking, the way it was presented in court caught a lot of people off guard, including her husband. Word on the streets is that Alex is not taking this well, and it seems like the weight of it all was hitting him hard. The streets are saying that Cassie allegedly got exposed for sleeping with more than 10 men, and now fans are clowning Alex for sticking with her. But why is this coming out now? And why are fans saying that there's a plot to take Cassie down? And does this mean that Cassie and Alex's marriage is in trouble? Let's get into all the details. Now, this situation is kind of sad because Alex has been standing 10 toes down with Cassie since she filed her lawsuit. He stood down with her 10 toes down during the trial with Diddy, and when fans tried to make him out to be her savior, he shut that down real quick and praised Cassie for being bold enough to break free of the control Diddy had on her. He said, "I did not save Cassie, as some have said. To say that is an insult to the years of painful work my wife has done to save herself." Cassie saved Cassie. She alone broke free from a coercion and threats. She did the work of fighting the demons that only a demon himself could have done to her, and all I have done is love her as she has loved me. So what changed, and why are fans saying that he feels a type of way about that? Well, it all has to do with a lawsuit that was recently filed by an escort named Clayton Howard, aka Dave, who claimed that Cassie helped Diddy victimize him during their freak-offs. What makes this different is that Dave is claiming that Cassie was Diddy's co-conspirator, while the federal trial made Cassie look like the victim. For example, while she was being cross-examined by the prosecutor, she admitted that Diddy would force her to do freak-offs, even when she was on her period, and get urinated on. The prosecutor also asked her, "Did you want to be urinated on?" And Cassie replied, "No, I did not want it." The prosecutor then asked her how it felt, and she replied, "It was disgusting. It was too much. No one could think I wanted it." When asked why she and if she wanted Diddy to pee in her mouth, she replied, "Too much urine in my mouth. I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. It was obvious I didn't want to be on the ground being urinated on by two men." But Dave's claims in his lawsuit paint a different story from what Cassie and the feds said during the trial. According to him, the fact that Cassie was the one who hired and paid the escorts, including him, made her complicit in his crimes. And now, if you followed the trial, then you know that Dave's name was brought up in the trial, with revelations that Cassie planned and orchestrated the freak-offs, including setting up the meets. According to reports, in another message between Ventura Fine and a person named Dave, the man texted around 1:30 or 1:45 a.m. to notify Cassie he had arrived at a meeting location. Roughly 6 hours later, he texted saying, "Thanks, LOL." The meeting location was presumably for freak-offs, since that was the only business that he had with Diddy and Cassie. Now, y'all know that the trial officially wrapped up last week. Diddy managed to beat the RICO and counts, but he was found guilty on a few lesser charges. But here's where it gets interesting. Almost as soon as the verdict dropped, Dave popped up with a civil lawsuit of his own, and let me tell you, he was ready. It's clear he was just waiting for the dust to settle before making his move, and when he did, he didn't hold back. His lawsuit dives into some heavy allegations, and Cassie ends up right in the middle of it all. The way Dave tells it, Cassie wasn't just a bystander in this whole situation, and the image of her that came out during Diddy's trial gets complicated real quick. With Dave's civil suit adding a whole new layer, people are starting to look at things differently. His version of events puts Cassie in a far more complex light, and it's raising a lot of questions about what really happened. This complication makes it even harder for Alex Fine, because the streets are saying that she is not as innocent as she had us thinking. According to Dave, Cassie was not forced into the freak-offs because she loved it and willingly participated in them. According to him, he started doing the freak-offs with Diddy and Cassie around 2009, and they allegedly him for commercial purposes. In an interview, he said, "To me for the purposes of commercials, using me as entertainment to satisfy their fetishes and personal ambitions." He also claimed that Diddy and Cassie manipulated and traumatized him while they themselves engaged in a toxic, domestically abusive relationship that often became. He says Cassie manipulated him into taking ecstasy and having unprotected intercourse. He says she would order him to touch himself for hours on end, resulting in tears, skin peeling, and scabbing to his privates. He also claimed that Cassie allegedly enjoyed the power she had during those freak-offs, especially when it came to directing and bossing around the escort. According to him, it wasn't just something she tolerated. He says she actually got a rush from it and fed off the control she had in those moments. According to reports, Clayton Howard alleged that the singer embraced the bad boy mogul's power, resources, and influence for the purposes of alleged manipulation. He claims this is why he kept seeing them for almost a decade, since he feared they would retaliate amid an already dire financial situation. And let's not even get into his claims that Cassie allegedly forced him to sleep with her while she was on her period, and on top of that, he says she ended up giving him an STI. The whole situation is wild, and these accusations are only adding more fuel to an already chaotic fire. According to reports, Clayton sued Diddy and Cassie with some bombshell claims, including that she gave him an STD and forced him to have intercourse with her while she was menstruating. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it does. Dave went on to claim that Cassie allegedly got pregnant with his child at some point, and he's convinced the baby was his, and he claims that Cassie shouldn't have terminated without his consent. And according to him, he's suing because his dealings with Diddy and Cassie left him with physical and psychological injury, lost wages and benefits, medical expenses, pain and suffering, emotional distress, and mental anguish, plus loss of enjoyment of life. According to TMZ, the former escort further addresses why he's going after Cassie for monetary damages rather than criminal charges, telling us the U.S. Attorney's Office is well aware that she was a co-conspirator with Diddy, but they only cared about getting Diddy. He even accuses the government of not caring about male victims, saying it's all about Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. So it looks like Cassie is going to be tried as a co-conspirator, which means that she's going to be under a lot of scrutiny during the trial. And this is where it gets really hard, because the streets are saying that Dave's lawsuit is going to spiral into a class action. There are rumors that more than 10 former escorts are planning to join in the lawsuit and take Cassie to court for willingly helping Diddy. And according to reports, Alex is not taking it well, because the thought of 10 men coming out to talk about how they got down and dirty with his wife and the mother of his kids is not something that he ever thought he was going to have to deal with. Now, this doesn't mean that he blames Cassie or that he's going to leave her. It's more of him feeling horrified by the true nature of what Cassie had to go through with Diddy and all the escorts, and knowing that she's going to have to relive that horror all over again if the class action lawsuit goes to trial. At this point, we have to wonder if it's ever going to end, or if she's going to have to deal with this for the rest of her life. Anywho, y'all let me know what you think in the comments, and then check out this next video